Now, there are signs North Korea has restarted its main nuclear reactor to produce weapons fuel. The UN Atomic Energy Agency says it's observed the discharge of cooling water from the plant, indicating that it's in use. Plutonium is produced at the complex north of Pyongyang. It's one of the main ingredients used to build nuclear weapons. Well, let's speak now to Robert Kelly, who is a professor of political science and diplomacy at the Pusan National University. He joins us by Skype from Busan in South Korea, and it's good to have you with us this morning. Can you just explain why Pyongyang has restarted this plant now?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, right? I mean, the North Koreans don't really tell us very much about why they make these decisions. They don't print documents and things like that, and doctrinal statements for us to push through, so it's kind of criminology. I would say that the North Koreans probably are thinking that negotiations with the Americans are over, right? Donald Trump is out of office. You may recall that Donald Trump met Kim Jong-un several times, but now he's gone. And the Biden team is looking at a lot of other things besides North Korea. And so the Americans aren't particularly pushing hard on North Korea one way or another. I think the Biden people would like to have conversations and some kind of negotiations with the North, but they're not really pushing for it the way the Trump people did. So I think if you're the North Koreans, the thinking is, look, I mean, there's nothing going on. The Americans aren't offering us anything. The current South Korean president is lame duck. He's out of office in 6 months, right? So why don't we sort of restart this and keep making weapons, right? Because the weapons are what give North Korea leverage, right? I mean, if they've got, 30 instead of 20 or 100 instead of, 50 or whatever, we don't know how many they have. Then this gives them more bargaining chips when eventually negotiations take place again. And of course, if they don't, then the weapons suit North Korean security, and the more of them, the better. So I think it's really just sort of a reflection of the stalemate negotiations of the last 6 months.
But my understanding is the Biden administration has indicated that it's open to talks. They want a resolution to this. They just don't want to give away the farm the way that the Donald Trump administration did. So, I mean, is there any way a breakthrough, a negotiation could happen, or are the North Koreans just simply not interested?
No, I think the North Koreans are interested. I think they just want a lot more than what the Americans have been willing to offer. For the North Koreans, nuclear weapons are of existential value, right? North Korea is surrounded by countries that are hostile to it. Even North Korea's friends in the region like Russia and China are really only fair with their friends, right? So for the North Koreans, holding on to the nukes is really, really valuable, and they're not going to give them up unless we, the Americans, right, and but South Korea and Japan too, but really the Americans, offer something really substantial, and not just sanctions relief, but like a big aid package or diplomatic recognition. I mean, there's a lot the North Koreans want, and they want to use the weapons as leverage to get those things. And Trump, for all of his effort, for all the sort of theater around Trump's meetings with North Korea, he didn't actually offer them anything commensurate to what he was demanding, and I think that's why the North Koreans ultimately rejected his proposal. So I think if you're the North Koreans, the idea is to just sort of keep on jacking up the pressure by producing more and more of these weapons, and at some point the Americans will have to come back to the table, and then you have even more weapons to trade away for a deal. And I think the Biden people would like to talk, but quite honestly, I think they're just overwhelmed, right? Afghanistan and COVID and restarting the American economy. I mean, there's just only so much the administration can do, and North Korea, I think, is far down the list.
Okay, Robert Kelly, great to get your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera.
Thank you for having me.